Rebecca Carter's alarm rang at 4:30 a.m., same as every day for the last 15 years. At 62, most people her age were retired. Rebecca had no such option. She shared a tiny apartment with her 8-year-old grandson Danny, whose leukemia had eaten every dollar she'd ever saved. She moved through the dark rooms like a ghost so she wouldn't wake him, tied her gray hair into the same neat bun she had worn for decades, and left before the sun rose. 2 buses later she reached Rosewood Diner at 6 sharp, never once late in 15 years. The diner was plain, faded booths and strong coffee, but to Rebecca it was home. She knew every regular's order, every birthday, every hidden struggle. They loved her because she truly saw them. That Tuesday morning at 7:45 a.m. black Bentley parked diagonally across 2 handicap spots. Richard Pembroke stepped out. 48 years old, $6,000 suit, $340 million fortune built on evicting families and tearing down affordable housing. Still shouting into his phone about displacing 200 households for luxury condos, he snapped his fingers at Rebecca and pointed to a table. She served him politely. He never once looked at her. At 8:05, 10 Harleys rolled in. Hell's Angels patches, but these riders were on their way to a children's hospital charity ride 200 miles away. Victor Stone, chapter president and former Marine turned youth counselor, led them. Hammer ran an auto shop that hired ex-cons. Angela was a former ER nurse. The rest were plumbers, truckers, teachers, ordinary men and women who had found family on the road. They asked for booth 7, the one closest to the kitchen, so Rebecca's aching feet would have to walk less. They noticed things like that. Pembroke complained the coffee was lukewarm. Rebecca brewed a fresh pot, tested it herself, scalding hot. He tasted, grimaced, and announced loudly that she was incompetent. "Do you know who I am?" he sneered. "I could buy this entire diner and everyone in it, including you. Maybe if you'd gotten an education instead of serving coffee your whole pathetic life, you'd understand quality. People like you are meant to serve people like me." The diner went dead silent. Rebecca turned to walk away. Pembroke grabbed the fresh, boiling coffee and threw it straight into her face. The sound she made was not a scream, it was something deeper, primal. The liquid burned across her cheek, jaw, neck, and shoulder. She collapsed behind the counter, hands pressed to blistering skin. Pembroke laughed and tossed a $100 bill on the table. That should cover the coffee and the floor show. 4 seconds of absolute shock. Then booth 7 moved. Victor set his cup down with deliberate calm. 10 riders stood as one. Leather creaked. Boots hit the floor in perfect unison. They formed a wall between Pembroke and the door. Victor's voice was low, steady steel. "Sit down." Pembroke threatened lawyers and arrests. Angela was already on her knees beside Rebecca. 2nd and 3rd degree burns. She needs a hospital now. Someone dialed 911. Victor stepped closer. "Look at her. Say her name." Pembroke didn't know it. Rebecca Carter. 62 years old. Works 3 jobs to pay for her grandson's leukemia treatment. You just threw boiling coffee in her face because it wasn't hot enough for you. Do you have daughters? Yes, 14 and 16. If someone did this to your daughters, what should happen to that person? Pembroke tried money. "I'll pay all her bills. Any amount." Victor shook his head. "You'll do a lot more than that." Every phone in the diner was recording. Marcus held his up. "Already uploading to every news station and platform. You're finished." Pembroke's assistant Kevin stood, legs shaking. "I have 3 years of evidence. Bribery, harassment, illegal evictions. I'll testify." Victor handed him a worn business card for an employment lawyer. Police and paramedics arrived minutes later. Angela rode in the ambulance, giving a professional report the entire way. Officers expected chaos when dispatch mentioned Hell's Angels. Instead, they found perfect order. 15 witnesses, multiple videos, a millionaire in handcuffs, and 10 bikers who had not laid a finger on him. The video went viral. By nightfall, Richard Pembroke was the most hated man in the country. 3 months later, Rebecca returned to work. Pale silver scars traced her face and neck, but she wore them like medals. Danny's leukemia was in full remission. Every bill paid by the charity ride that had been redirected to the hospital and raised $1.2 million. Rebecca now worked only the diner job she loved. Booth 7 became permanent regulars. Danny received his own tiny leather vest with his name stitched on the back. Pembroke served 6 months in county jail, paid millions in fines and settlements, lost his company, his wife, his daughters, and every illusion that money made him untouchable. 3 years later, if you walk into Rosewood Diner, you'll still find Rebecca pouring coffee, remembering who likes extra hot sauce and who needs 2 sugars. When a new waitress named Sophie stands trembling with a coffee pot, Rebecca pulls her aside. "This job will test you," she says softly. "Some customers will treat you like you're nothing. But remember, you are never alone." Across the room, Booth 7 fills with leather vests and easy laughter. Victor catches Rebecca's eye. He gives a small nod. She nods back. In that single silent exchange, everything is said. "We're still here." "I know. And that is enough."